Welcome to MCU Mondays here on this Monday. That's when we do it, 9:30 p.m. every Monday night. Tonight, well, let's do introductions like I said I was going to. You know me, my name is Chris. My co-host Debbie puts up with me. Thank goodness for that. Debbie, how are you?
Good.
Good. And we got David, as we often do, down below us. David, how are you today?
I'm good. Happy Thanksgiving to all of our watchers.
Happy Thanksgiving. It's
we got
this week,
and don't forget Hawkeye starts on Wednesday.
Oh yeah, Hawkeye. So that's what we'll be talking about next week. We're definitely going to be talking about Hawkeye. This week, since we had a break from new stuff, David's got a visitor. We have another viewer. Yes. But it's past his bedtime. And seeing as we're about to talk about the Blade trilogy, it's probably for the best. I will mention it now. Since those are 3 R-rated movies, we're going to be having R-rated conversations. Okay. It's so make sure you're aware. Yes, we're talking about Blade. Blood, gore, action, language. Tons of language. Absolutely tons. Especially once Ryan Reynolds in the third one, who's basically just playing an earlier version of Deadpool.
But even he couldn't save that movie, unfortunately.
Welcome, Daytona. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, no, the third one's a mess. But anyway, we'll get there. So anyway, we've got a great show coming up. We're going to watch all those trailers, and then we're going to talk about Blade. But before we can do that, we got to have our theme song.
Theme song guy.
Oh, yeah! It's MCU Mondays on Geek Now. We're talking about all Geek Now. Movies and TV and comics, news, sci-fi, opinions, breaking trailers and
I can't wait to talk about it. I'm really glad that we got, especially the first two. The third one, it had even been too long since I'd seen that one, even though it's not, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinion, the best. Boy, some weird choices were made there. But it was really fun to go back and look at these as we prepare for Blade to enter the MCU. We had our first peek at him. Well, not really a peek. We heard his voice. If you watched Eternals, that's in the one of the end credit scenes. Yep. So he's being introduced to the MCU. We'll see how that goes. After watching these movies, I'm wondering what he's going to be like in the MCU. That'll be interesting to see what Disney does with this character, who is a vampire hunting, foul-mouthed murderer too. He murders people that work with him. He murders them. So
I think that's mentioned quite a bit in the third movie. How many people have you murdered? I believe that was
he was like 1,600, something like that. He's like, but
they were all familiars.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, are you out of your damn mind?
It is. Oh man, it's so funny when they shoot him and he's just like, "What is wrong?" And then they just run away. They're like, "Okay, we give up." And then what I really love. Oh, well, we're going to talk about Blade, but first, let's do as I promised we were going to do and take a look at all the MCU stuff that was released for Disney Plus Day. It's out on YouTube now, so I can't imagine they'll have a problem with me showing it. But if they do, we will be back. So if the stream shuts down and because it's like blah blah blah, don't worry about it. Just let me know in the comments.
Is what it usually is.
It's nonsense. But anyway, we're going to be looking at these trailers, but don't worry if it shuts down at any point because we will be back. The first trailer, I believe, is She-Hulk. Yes.
I'm Jennifer Walters. I'm a normal lawyer. Well, not that normal.
These transformations are triggered by anger and fear.
Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
So it's very much a teaser for She-Hulk. That's basically just like, hey, it's happening.
I'm still confused about that because there was one scene where he was Banner. There was one scene where he was the Hulk.
Well, let's think about it.
And we had the post-credit scene, in Shang-Chi where he was Banner. So what's going on with Hulk?
Well, also the one
Do we
where
know what
he's
time frame
These
these
transformations
take place?
well, that's what I was gonna say.
Like, is
This could be in between the snaps. You know,
No.
like because the first time we ever saw him as Smart Hulk was in
Endgame. Yeah.
Endgame. And so this could be before he actually, because you know afterwards he'd have the hurt hand, you would imagine, or we've seen his banner, or maybe he can now shift back and forth. Who knows what his deal is? Maybe we'll find out more in this. But yeah, you can see he doesn't have the damage from that yet
are triggered
or
by anger and fear.
at all.
Don't make
Oh
me.
yeah, I didn't even. Now he was wearing an arm sling though in Shang-Chi because I just watched that one again the other day.
And here it almost looks like this is part of like a like you see how the frame has changed? Instead of being a widescreen, it's now like, you know, tube TV.
I wonder if it's.
I
like
think that might be like an old timey thing or some sort of. I don't think it's
because
And it looks at their clothes and look at how it's shot and everything.
It's even rounded on the edges there, like it's
Right.
an old 2TB. But
And their clothes. I mean, his
I'm-
hair even kind of looks not even.
he looks like Bill Bixby from the old Hulk.
And
He's dressed
that
the same way.
jacket that she's wearing screams like 90s. I'm getting like a late
90s.
80s.
Are you kidding me? Look at those lapels. That's 70s, baby.
Well, well, I don't know, but then in the 90s, people started wearing stuff like that again to be like
They were retro, yeah.
Yeah. So it could be, you're right, it could be either. And tube TVs were more like 70s. Once you get in the 90s, you started getting like the big widescreen, massive TVs.
See, maybe this is like a not a flashback, but like a vision, like he's just standing there and it's kind of overshadowing me, and that's almost like
who knows?
almost like his celestial body or whatever. Like they.
But you can also see, I mean, all the rest of the stuff is that widescreen format, and this one isn't. So, and that's the same thing they did in like WandaVision. They would change it based on the time period.
Right.
So I'm thinking it has to be something along those lines. Anyway, She-Hulk. There's a quick little teaser. It's happening. Hopefully, we'll find out more about the Hulk. Maybe we'll find out when this is exactly taking place. That might answer some of those questions. But hey, I'm down for more Hulk. Frankly, I feel like he hasn't quite gotten justice.
I was going to say he's underused
and underpowered in some cases. But anyway, She-Hulk, it's coming up. Hopefully, we'll get some real Hulk smash and not just an ironic Hulk smash. That was come on, smash. That's what people actually like. You know why they like the first Avenger? Because he went crazy and he smashed. Anyway, that's his Hulk thing. That's what he does. Come on. Secret Invasion. Here we go. That's it for Secret Invasion. What did you think of that one, guys? There's
a lot of
Blink.
spoilers in that one.
Blink and you miss it, or if you're Samuel L. Jackson, wink and you miss it.
He doesn't have his patch. I know
We have a beast scarred, and he's got a beard.
He's got his beard. I'm curious. I honestly thought that this was going to be the direction of Phase 4. Was going to be Secret War. Was going to be the big bad. Versus, it's just going to be a Disney Plus miniseries.
I just wanted to see. We had some comments that I did not notice. I wish we had Jen Walter Steps when I was in the Army. Oh, I'm sure you're not alone in wishing that. I do like your hello. Hey, thank you for joining us.
Guess what? I used to live in Utah. Don't live there anymore, but I lived in Salt Lake City for about 8 years. So hello Salt Lake. We love you.
Thank you for watching. We like our program too. I don't think Smart Hulk realizes that he doesn't need to be well dressed to be smart. Yeah. And he's Smart Hulk. Come on. We have to show it. And he has glasses. I'm so confused over what exactly his state of being is. Yo, Hulk, throw on a shirt, pal. Hulk, no. Thank God his pants didn't come off. I do like that in the first Avengers movie where that old guy finds him and he's like, "Are you an alien?" He's like,
you got a
condition. And he gives him some pants. It's like, came flying down out of the sky, buck naked. Oh, great stuff. Anyway, so then we had the very quick secret invasion here.
And that's been touched on in several. It was Far From Home. Captain
WandaVision had a
Marvel.
bit at the very end with the
WandaVision had a touch
scrolls. I
of it.
mean, they've been flashing little quick glances for a long time. So here's another one, little quick glance. I think Miss Marvel. Here we go.
Kamala, let's talk about you.
It's not really the brown girls from Jersey City who save the world.
Maybe now they do.
I got this, right?
Totally.
There we have it.
This one I'm not as excited about, and not
Well,
because
Yeah.
not because it's a female, and not because she's a Muslim, mainly because I just honestly I don't like the character.
Mhm.
It has nothing to do. I'm sure it's going to be beautiful and gorgeous because it's Marvel and they do a lot of cool stuff. But I'm not a fan of Miss Marvel.
And you know, as what's her face said in that interview for the first Captain Marvel, maybe this movie isn't for you.
Maybe.
And that's what when I was watching this, you know, it's one thing. I'm not, like you said, I'm not against any of those things, but it does feel like they're hitting it pretty hard on the head. Like, I would think normally you would do this kind of thing, so it would be like a metaphor, or it would be, you know, it would speak on its own. This is like telling you,
Shoving it in your
that's
face.
exactly what this is about. All right, and you know, and so, I'm interested in that. Like, I don't really know what her powers are or anything like that. I think she can stretch, but
Mr. Fantastic.
it's also, I'd rather see him if we're going to have a stretch person. Let's be honest. And frankly, from what I've seen, her comics didn't do all that well. And she was at the forefront of that Avengers game, which hadn't done great.
She was also very highly used. I played Lego Marvel Superheroes 2.
Okay.
And you had to use her a lot. There was a lot of little side quests that required that you use her, and that may be where I get my distaste for the character. Is just I was like, I'm tired of using.
And is this one going to be a movie, or did they change it into a series? I can't even remember. I can't keep track of all these.
I
things.
thought it was a series,
I thought
but I
everything.
could be wrong.
I was going to say I thought everything coming to Disney Plus was a series.
That's true. Yeah, if it's for Disney Plus, I would think so. But Moon Knight, is that a series?
I think
Yeah,
so.
all mixed up. Yeah, you're probably right. So anyway, if it's going to be on Disney Plus, I've got Disney Plus. You know, we do this show. You know, I would probably watch it regardless at some point, just so because you know I enjoy Marvel's content. I generally enjoy watching it. I like to know how the things connect. So I'd probably end up watching it. But if this, you know, that's kind of why they're lucky that like everything connects and people go to do that, because this would probably be one just like Eternals where I would probably be like, oh, not necessarily care about this. Samuel Jackson got a fro beard. He must have been hiding out. Yeah, I was thinking he almost looked like kind of like he did at the end of, was that Winter Soldier? But just like he had been on the run more.
Right.
Hello, Travis. I'm wondering if any of you have seen Blade Runner Black Lotus. I know I haven't.
Can't say that I have.
I'm not even sure what that is. Oh, I know there was a new like animated Blade Runner thing coming out on I think Cartoon Network. And they're actually planning a live action series about that. But anyway, Miss Marvel, you know, coming in hot, coming in strong.
It said original series streaming soon.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'm sure these
So
are
there
all
you go.
series now. That makes a lot of sense. I don't know why I questioned it. Disney Plus.
Duh.
Dummy. And so I think he's talking about the Blade Runner Black Lotus. Yeah, it's a great one. I might have to check that out. Blade Runner is pretty awesome intellectual property. But for right now, here we go. We got the Moon Knight trailer. Keeping it moving.
I can't tell the difference
between my waking life and dreams.
The voice in your head. It devours you.
Before we get to that, so
Now,
Moon
that
Knight.
one I'm looking forward to that one.
Oh yeah. He's like Batman, if Batman like wasn't, if instead of like choosing to go do bat stuff, he like woke up from doing it like not knowing what he had been doing. Why are my knuckles bloody with the blood of criminals? What's been like, that's Moon Knight. He just wait, so he's nuts. And Oscar Isaac,
He looks like he pulls it off very well.
Yeah, he
I mean,
looks-
as far
when
as
he keeps snapping out of that moment, at that one point, that I was like, oh, this is gonna be. And the voice that he's talking in, yeah.
Even when he's like that one that he was just in, where he's kind of cowering and he's like it's like he's scared of the voices in his head, kind of thing. Like that one, even there, it's like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, what's going on? What's happening to me? You know?
It's-
Oh, I love it.
And so, like, I was comparing him to Batman. It's in here he's kind of acting like Batman, but that's the funny thing about his other persona is that Bruce Wayne is even like, he might act like a buffoon sometimes, but he's still like a strong, self-aware character. Like if you remember The Dark Knight, when the Joker invades, like Bruce Wayne as Bruce Wayne disarms one of them and like dismantles his gun. You know, he's not like, this guy would have to go into that other persona, you know what I mean,
Right.
to actually fight back. So that's definitely a cool angle. I'm certainly looking forward to that. Debbie?
Yeah, I like Oscar Isaac in pretty much everything he's done, except for maybe Apocalypse. But
We already talked about that
Can't
one.
really
yeah,
totally.
I know. But,
peacefully ignore,
yeah, I'm excited. I don't know anything about Moon Knight or whatever his name is, but yeah, I'm excited for this. I'm looking forward to see what he does.
Thought it was very reminiscent of that new Batman trailer when he was sitting there punching that guy on the floor.
Yeah,
was
he's
like,
whacking
okay.
somebody out.
All right. And so those, I think, are the only trailers that I have. I think the rest are just general announcements, but we can take a
Right.
look at what else is coming up here. So What If Season 2. I'm looking forward to that, to see what they do there. Agatha, House of Harkness. What do you guys think about this?
I'm excited. I'm hoping they do like maybe like an origin type thing.
I hope they don't run this into the ground, because Agatha in WandaVision was an amazing character.
Mhm.
And it was, I don't know, if with this, it's almost like somebody looked at that and said, oh, hey, cash cow.
Yeah.
Let's do
Oh,
something more
the
with her.
song went up on iTunes and everyone loved the song. And she's on the late night shows. You know, so like as far as the creative process on coming up with this, it may very well just have been like, we have to cash in on the popularity of this character.
Yeah.
And I do like Catherine Hahn.
I
she
just
is
hope
fun.
it's not. I hope it's
I
done
worry.
well. I
Yeah,
hope it's done well.
I'm with you on that. Like, I do wonder like how long this had been planned, if before the show. Like, I
No,
doubt.
I'm sure this was in the works.
I don't know.
That was Spider-Man and Iron Man 2. That was
Right,
Peter
yeah.
Parker.
Or they just kind of
Duh.
roll with it, and then, power to them, but so
This looks like an animated one, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it is.
I mean, Disney Plus as well. So yeah, because there are a couple of animated things. Spider-Man freshman year. So that I have no idea what that is other than an animated Spider-Man show, but those are generally pretty good. So I'm interested in it. I've watched most of the
minute.
Spider-Man shows. At some
Freshman
point.
year, is that freshman in high school, or is that freshman like as in
Yeah,
he's
I've
just barely Spider-Man?
I don't know.
Either way, it's time for the angsty teenager.
And also, it'd be interesting. I don't know if it's Miles Morales Spider-Man or Spider-Man. They could do something else, but it doesn't. I mean, Miles Morales usually has more dark colors than this looks more like. But I don't know. I don't know anything about that.
Now there's no blue.
I
there's
haven't
no blue
seen
in
a
this. It's black.
animated Spider-Man movie since the late 60s, 70s. So this should be interesting because I haven't seen
You
anything
didn't. You didn't
since.
see Into the Spider-Verse?
No.
Oh, I was kind of hesitant on that one too, but I watched it and it was actually
Was it good?
really, really good.
Definitely.
I've been iffy on it.
It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Might have to check it out.
I don't know that it's not on Disney Plus, but I don't know where it is, but it's somewhere.
Yeah, that was Into the Spider-Verse. That was like what are the names? Christopher Miller and Phil Lord, or is it? Yeah, I think that's.
Yeah, I think so.
But they were the ones that were going to be doing Solo. They actually did like 75% of the movie before creative differences with Kathleen Kennedy, and
Ron Howard takes over.
Late time to have those after you've shot most of the movie. But they also did. I was just watching 21 Jump Street the other day, and they directed that, and I was like, oh well, dude, no wonder I love these. Like these guys are awesome. And that movie's hilarious too. Oh my gosh, what a good one. But anyway, so Into the Spider-Verse, I'd also definitely recommend if you get a chance to watch that. Definitely do. So Echo.
What is Echo? Because I have no clue.
I have no idea.
I
think it's a female character, I believe.
I think it's a female, and I think she can reproduce like Captain America's fighting style. Anything she sees, she can copy. She can echo.
So like a Taskmaster?
Yeah. But I think it's a good guy Taskmaster versus a bad guy Taskmaster.
Oh yeah, she is. Okay, here's the other thing that's interesting about her though, is that she's been the adopted daughter of Kingpin, and as a supporting character in Daredevil. So, and there have been big teases or people talking about Daredevil and Kingpin. So
long as they bring in D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox, I think we'll be
D'Onofrio
good.
was so good in that role.
Heck yeah. D'Onofrio's good in everything he does.
I mean, that's also true.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's Kingpin. I mean, really. So that's Echo. So that's again Disney Plus. So, and I have no more knowledge on that other than just that. I Am Groot. So it's Baby Groot too. I don't know what that's going to be about. Other than is it going to be like a kids show? Is it going to be are the other Guardians?
That's the feeling I get. It's going to be like a towards the kids, maybe. I would probably still watch it because I like Groot. So
Ironheart, the successor of Iron Man.
But it's a girl, right?
Isn't this his daughter?
No.
Okay.
In the comics that they put out, she is a African American, and what makes the suit? I don't know.
It's comparable to Tony's.
Well, yeah, it's almost exactly like that. There's been some speculation that that character was created after someone saw a porn parody of this. I'm pretty sure it's of the same name, and the costume looks very similar. And it came out like 2 years before the actual comic of Ironheart did. So I just saw an article on that. I don't know.
Alrighty then.
Embarrassing stuff. Bring back, yeah. I don't know. So we'll see what happens with that. I don't know. Marvel Zombies.
I'm excited for this one.
And X-Men 97.
Yes, this one I'm excited for.
Now, Marvel Zombies, do you think it's going to be a completely different art style than like the What If?
From what I heard, I was reading something on it, and from what I understand, it's going to be like the What If, but it's going to give you the full story of that What If scenario.
Okay.
You know, how it started, and so I guess if that's the case, then yeah, sure, why not make it the same animation style?
And then so we got X-Men 97, literally a continuation of the.
Are they getting the same voice
X-Men.
actors?
Some
of them.
Yeah, I think as many as they can, but
Luke and I have been watching those through.
And that's a great show. Yeah, that was one of my favorites when I was growing. Anytime I could find that on TV, I was watching the X-Men. Gambit was one of my favorite. That was when Gambit
was huge.
Became one of my favorites. Absolutely, him and Rogue. When Rogue had the powers of Captain Marvel, which, come on, let's do that in the MCU.
Now, do you have to
Uh,
watch those to watch to watch this one, or
I mean, it's going to pick up exactly where it left off, apparently.
So yeah, probably.
Wouldn't
It's
hurt.
on Disney Plus. You can go watch it.
I'm sure you don't have to, but
Get up on Saturday morning, make you a bowl of cereal, sit in your pajamas on the couch, and
oh,
eat your
that takes
cereal and
me
watch
back
cartoons.
to the old days.
There you go.
all right. So that's the whole Disney Plus stuff. Let's talk about Blade.
Finally.
Motherfucker, are you out of your damn mind?
So right after that, like a whole bunch of cops show up with like automatic. Well, there's one with an automatic weapon, but like all these cops and all these have all these guns aimed down the hallway, and he's with the doctor. He has like a innocent person with him, and they're just like, boom, 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 boom. I was like, oh my gosh, you just don't care at all that he's literally holding it in it like a hostage. They're just like, there's no question. They're just like,
It's that scene from Speed. Shoot the hostage. Shoot
and
the hostage and eliminate him from the equation.
so later you find out that like the cops are like owned by the vampires are
Yeah, they're
part of
on the
everything,
payroll.
but still, that was crazy when you were watching that. But I think one of the greatest parts about this movie was how it started with that the
Bloodbath.
rave, yeah, and then it's like bloodbath.
And it was I can't even think of the actor's name. He played Lemowski on The Shield, which is The Shield's like my favorite show of all time. So there you go.
And he survived.
Yeah.
That's the craziest thing.
He's
I was
on
like,
SWAT now because I
Yeah.
watch SWAT. I like him on SWAT.
there's a room full of vampires, and he lived. I thought this guy's dead for sure. And I was like, they just brought it. I was like, there's not enough of him to go around. It's like, what, you only brought one dude to the vampire festival? It's like, that's not nearly enough. And then the blood came out, and I was like, oh, never mind. You clearly don't need actual bodies. You got it in the sprinkler system. Big fire hazard, but you know.
I bet blood could put out a fire. It'd be okay.
I mean, yeah, it's probably. Especially in the amounts that it was coming down there. It was so nasty, though. Oh, man. I was just thinking, like, oh, that was real blood. Ugh. Like at a rave or something like that, if it was maybe fake, that would be one thing. Because there are people that probably do that kind of thing that are, like, just into vampires. But real blood, just like, ugh.
Why do vampires and it's not just Blade. It's like every movie.
Because they know their target audience, okay?
They go and find the emo kids and the goth kids, and they put them all in a big room and say, okay, everybody dance. We're going to play some music, and y'all just dance and be yourselves. And it's like, oh, this is what vampires are.
Well, that's why they actually look panicked when they run away. Because they didn't know that they were filming a movie. They're just like throwing a rave. Those are the people that showed up, and then they brought in actors with blanks and started blowing stuff up. That's why all the rest of them flee. It's like, aren't you vampires? How come none of you ever fight? You're all running away. It's like, we want to live. We're afraid of Blade. It's one dude. Although...
Like he's like, you have 20 guys around him. I was there, man. He's got shit he throws at you. Then you like the sword.
Yeah, you got the sword and
exactly.
shit. Yeah, you throw it in the air, catch it underneath.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Shut the fuck up.
Dude, that guy had me dying. I kept thinking that the main vampire dude was going to kill him.
All the time. There was like 3 or 4 times.
But he always just ended up just being like, thanks. Or like, really cool with him. Like, they're actually just pals. And he's like, this guy got bit with me, and I know he's kind of an idiot, but he's my boy. All right?
He was going to cut his arm off.
And then he didn't. I was like,
said,
it's
"No, I'm just
happening.
joking."
Now it's happening. And he's like, their relationship. Oh, man, it was...
Bad. Like he's like, you have 20 guys around him. I was there, man. He's got shit he throws at you. Then you like the sword.
Yeah, you got the sword and
exactly.
shit. Yeah, you throw it in the air, catch it underneath.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Shut the fuck.
He's just like the comic relief sidekick.
Now, was that the guy?
He's on like a sitcom or something.
Yeah, like Tucson. I was trying to remember the name of it today.
Well, he was in Gotham.
Yeah, he was.
Oh yeah, he was.
Harvey.
And
not Dent. Oh, I can't think
the
of his
partner,
name.
the officer, the
Yeah.
crooked cop.
He was also. Now, was he in Daredevil? Was he? Matt Murdock's partner, or was that
Oh
somebody
God,
else?
No, 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 no,
Okay,
no.
that was somebody else. Okay.
someone much younger. Yeah, think about it. This was 1998,
Mm-hmm.
and he already looked like that. So, 2017, he's not looking like a fresh-faced attorney right out of law school. I can tell you that much. Funny guy though. I enjoyed him in this movie. Even he was the crazy, crispy vampire in the beginning who bit the chick. Guy who came back. Man, that was nuts. So a lot of the fight and action scenes were. If you were to look at this movie compared to the second one, you could tell they had more money for the second one. They had better special effects, but like you could just tell they had more money because there were parts that were entirely like him in CGI. And this one, there was not anything like that. The one time that they did something that much was when he cuts the guy in half and the blood connects him, and I'm just like, rough stuff. That and the demons flying around, I was like, ooh, look. You're showing your age here. Look at that. I'm not sure you should have went for it, but
You know, I had to
I thought it was
rewind
pretty
that.
great.
I had to rewind that and watch it 2 or 3 times just to go, oh, what is wrong with this?
look at this. And people are like, the first and the second one are the good Blade movies. I was like, this is the good Blade movie. And then I watched the third and I was like, yeah, actually, compared to the first, yeah, really, it is better.
Here's the issue that I had with, and maybe the second Blade movie a little bit more, but the first Blade movie it had every superhero trope in the book. In that you had the old guy who was helping him do things. You had the love interest that was like scared of him at first, and now he has to find his mother. He has to find the vampire that made him. He's got to stop the rogue vampire that's trying to bring the blood god and defy the other vampires, and then he kills them, and the blood god shows. I'm like, oh my gosh, I could have written this with a crayon and it would have been better.
Well, I think the thing is that they knew, or they thought we got one shot at this. We've got one Blade movie that we can make, you know?
Yeah.
And this is what they managed to come up with. I mean, why do you think his mentor dies in this? And then in the second one, they're like,
back.
just kidding, y'all.
Where's the boner alert? Where's the boner alert?
Well, it's one of the greatest decisions that they could have made in this case. Is to bring that like you want that character to come back, that actor Chris Christopherson. You want to see him. That's one of the problems with the third one, and he's not in it as much.
And that's kind of what I was thinking when I watched the second one again, and I was like, okay, he's spending the first part of this
thing they do.
They go looking for this guy, and I'm like, why did they kill him in the first movie then?
Because I'm convinced they only thought they were like, we're getting a Blade movie. This is it. Let's do it up.
This was
a self-contained story, and then it was like, okay, we're getting another movie. We need this guy to come back to life, but it's okay because we're doing vampire stuff. So, and they're just like,
this is the problem I had with a lot of the superhero movies is you go through the movie and at the end they kill the bad guy. The bad guy dies. In Keaton's Batman, Joker died. Penguin died. Two-Face died, and Batman Forever. You had all of these where it's like, all of these villains you have from the comic books, and you kill them. You don't kill them because then you can make more movies with the same characters in it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, oh, Joker came back and he did this. I was really expecting Batman and Robin, Jim Carrey to pop back up because as the Riddler and say, "Hey, I'm still alive." Yeah, exactly. And I mean, Heath Ledger didn't in The Dark Knight. Joker never died, or his death was never
Heath
on
Ledger
screen.
did.
Yeah,
so. And you're gonna bring back that Joker and not have it be Heath Ledger? No, you're not.
No. But
so that's a circumstance in and of itself. Hi, team. First 2 movies are masterpieces. Third one was a sad disappointment. That's
I don't know about a masterpiece, but okay.
Yeah.
Masterpieces. They're a lot of fun. They're a lot of fun.
Well, this was my first time watching them. I've heard about them, just never watched them. I thought Wesley Snipes was great, but they were just so cheesy. If I can say that. They were cheesy. Second one was definitely better than the first one. And I know you guys didn't think much of the third one. I like the third one better than
Reynolds was shirtless.
And
Get it,
Wesley Snipes
babe.
was shirtless. Hey, lot of.
And he sounded like you. I don't. Well, backstage, you said something about
No, he's basically playing Deadpool. I mean,
Yeah.
he's playing an early version
younger
of the
version.
character.
Yeah.
He was
Not as
creating
nasty,
the
but-
character. That point.
All right, that
And there's a lot of that in all three movies. I'm like, what in the hell, people?
well, I don't think any of it's quite as bad as that specific scene right there. Because I remember watching that and just thinking instantly of episode 3. And people give episode 3 a bunch of crap for that scene, even though I think it makes sense. But this, I mean, they don't even have, they're just kicking at the air in front of each other. I'm like, guys, you need to get closer together. You just need to.
What would have been bad is if they had both thrown kicks like that and then done it again, and then both of them went flying like they hit each other.
Force kick. That only works in Star. That doesn't. And Luke does a fantastic force kick on top of the sail barge.
Mhm.
Yeah. The second one was a lot of fun, though. I think the cast was one of the best for the second one. You had Norman Reedus from the Boondock Saints and from The Walking Dead.
Yes.
Familiar with them? He was great, and then he had that. I didn't see his whole switch coming because he ended up being a bad guy.
That was
Great.
I was just starting to like him.
Now,
Yeah.
the thing is, when they made a third one, it was like, too bad they can't
It was
bullcrap him back into this because that's an on-screen death if there ever was one. Because the other guy, he died behind the scenes. They could have made up whatever. Him, this is like, okay, he's missed, red mist.
He looks so young here, but he
Yeah,
looks
he really
exactly like he does in Walking Dead. I mean, same hairstyle.
that is why that right there is your choice for Wolverine. That's my pick for Wolverine. Norman Reedus,
too old.
about that age, about 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
Oh,
okay.
that age, yeah.
Yeah.
We also had Hellboy.
What's the matter? You missed that? It's okay, I can do it again.
I also think Wesley Snipes was generally more fun in the first two, and then in the third one, like Ryan Reynolds was making so many jokes that Wesley Snipes had to play the straight man more often, and I was just like, he didn't get to have as much humor and as much fun. Like, and also there was not a scene like this. Which probably isn't meant to be funny, but I find it hilarious, and I just love it. I love it. He throws the sunglasses, and he's just like, whoosh. They even make like the little whip crack sound again. It's like, oh yeah. Don't forget my shades.
Now you go back to Ron Perlman, and I know I had talked about the emo kids and the goth kids and all those other stuff. Why is it when we do a movie like this, and he's okay, we're going to introduce you to your team, the I forgot what they call them, the Blood Knight or whatever,
The murder pyres. No, I don't know.
Right. But every one of them was sitting there doing one of their little goth poses or emo, and they look up, and you're just like,
Meant to be tough.
Yeah, I'm tough. Look at me. I've got sunglasses and a black overcoat.
I'm gonna be in the Fast and the Furious. I'm wearing a chainmail shirt with nothing underneath. Looks kind of weird.
It was I was harking back to Deadpool, the first Deadpool movie. What are you guys going for, a midnight show of Blade 2? That's about right.
That's good. Well, okay, so you had the Blade movies come out, and then in between the second and third Blade movie, you had like, what's it called? Not The Walking Dead, but the other zombie Resident Evil movie coming out. You had Underworld come out. So like, and those are also very much like, I mean, Resident Evil's more post-apocalyptic, but Underworld's like, yes, we're in all black leather and we're doing it up, and that's because that's what vampires do.
You got to think too. What else came out around that time? The Matrix. Matrix
and the Matrix, absolutely.
came out in '99, and it was like that's the exact. And again, all of them just when the phone's ringing, they're all standing there posing like, yeah.
You even
I'm
had
cool.
some
I'm cool and tough. Look at me. Yeah.
some bullet time moments in the second one where they would slow everything down.
So in the second movie, why did second and third movie? I don't think they were in the first movie, but why did the vampires look like Predator? The way they
that was it wasn't the vampires. That was the what did they call them? The stalkers, or it was whoever they were fighting against.
It was the mutant strain. Well, in the second one, they mentioned that that's supposed to be like possibly more pure, or he's messing with their genetics to make them like the ultimate.
Right.
And this was a mistake. But then like the other one is actually Dracula, which they call Drake the entire time. And I'm like, why? All right, whatever.
I love Dominic Purcell.
I don't know why.
Was he shirtless? Is that why you love him? Was he wearing?
No, I just like him as Prison Break. He was in that,
He's
and
The Flash.
Yes,
Yep.
yes, and Legends of Tomorrow.
Legends of Tomorrow. He plays the fire gun guy.
Yes, I like him. I enjoy him.
How about a lot of comic book crossovers, actor wise?
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds. I mean,
Ryan Reynolds. You got Ron Perlman.
Yeah,
you know they
Hellboy. Yep.
They who are we talking about? Oh, the guy that was in that we were talking about at the first, that was in the comedian guy. He's been in 2 or 3 different things that are all.
Oh, Sin City he was in.
Yeah.
Wasn't he? Yeah.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
I think that was him. Yeah. Or maybe it was Watchmen. I don't know. I don't think it was Watchmen though. Anyway, yeah. Well, this is also technically like Marvel, so a lot of talent from these films. They're just like, hey, you can be Hellboy, Ryan Reynolds.
You could be Deadpool.
He demanded to be Deadpool. And Deadpool demanded he be Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't have any clips of Ryan Reynolds from Blade Trinity, but that's fine because I have tons of clips of Deadpool, and it's
what?
Debbie, you can watch him shirtless on your own time. We really don't need to be doing that during the show.
Spoil my fun, Chris.
Debbie's gonna go back and watch it again.
Well, he's not the only one. Denton said there's a third one. Yep. And Jessica Biel's in it too. That's who I was. Too bad she didn't get shirtless. There's a third one. I'll have to go watch that tonight. Don't be too excited because it's a flawed film.
I'll tell you this: all 3 of them are on HBO Max, so you don't have to go rent them from anything. So
thank God, because that's how I watched it.
And you said also the best high-tech vampire movies before Ethan Hawke's Daybreakers. Oh, Daybreakers was a good one. That's why I was trying to think of that. I was like, Ethan Hawke was in a movie. I didn't bother looking it up, but I was like, now I'm kind of in a vampire kick. I'm probably going to go watch Underworld and Daybreakers.
You're going to go watch. You're going to go watch Twilight again, aren't you?
I'm not going to watch that for the first time.
I did a few months ago only because I was in the mood. So.
And I already watched Katniss Everdeen and basically the Blade Trinity. So Jessica Biel was running around with a bow and arrow. It emits UV light. Why?
You were basically Hawkeye.
Basically Hawkeye.
She is Hawkeye. Yeah. Except more attractive, I would say. But running around in those leather pants.
The girl, the villain girl in that one.
Oh yeah, she's fun.
She's awful. It was awful. I mean, I don't know who wrote her script or.
Well,
I just wanted to go punch.
No, there's so many problems.
What's her name? Is like Veronica
Nissa?
or something.
Was it?
No, that was the second movie.
This was the third movie. The third movie, yeah. But her first line was something like, "I wanted to rip his bleeding heart out," and it was just so over the top and overdone. I'm like, holy smokes! I can't believe you put that on film. It's like a high school drama troupe right there.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's a mess. But the whole thing is, I think even the script, there's one part. Okay, so the blind woman who's making up the cures, I'm like, How? What? Okay. First of all, let's just get past that. Somehow respect she's making up vampire cures, even though she is literally 100% blind. Okay. She also has a daughter. There's a point later in the movie. These are vampire hunters, by the way. You know? So they should also know that they're being hunted by vampires. They got the blind woman sitting in front of the security screens. And I'm just like, and meanwhile, the two other people are playing basketball. I was like, do you trust her to be on lookout right now? The blind person? That is a joke in Robin Hood Men in Tights. And you're taking it so seriously right now. This is the stupidest thing. Oh, the blind woman's on watch. Well, you know what? You deserve to all three of you die. I'm glad you're dead because you put a blind woman in charge of watching the security. What?
Idiots.
That literally happens. Why? And this movie's a bit montagey, the third one.
It really is. Yep.
I knew you would notice. Reminded me of Captain America up in here.
Montage
they go
within
on
the
a whole montage on hunting down familiars that's just like using a bunch of clashing, conflicting scenes, like with some interest. They've all had some interesting editing. The third one is not good editing. The second one was Guillermo del Toro. That's probably why it looks like Predator, by the way.
Something else too. I mean, one of the other montages was again the whole. It was the gearing up. Everybody was putting their
gearing up. Oh my gosh! And it was so overdone. Like close-ups on every weapon. Like just go, put on your just go. And then there was another one where just shooting arrows. She's shooting the arrows, and every time she shoots another arrow, she's shooting it through like a speed catcher thing to know how fast. And every time she it starts going up. And I'm just like, that is not.
Why not?
How.
That works.
She's not just getting stronger right now. Like, and it doesn't even matter at the end. I was like, at the end, I was like, oh great, she's gonna save Blade, but then the vampire catches like the magic arrow or whatever, and then Blade picks it up and does the thing. But she then just shoots him again. I was like, why didn't you use one of your like UV light? But then it wouldn't matter because Dracula apparently is immune to that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was ridiculous.
Yeah, I would say not my favorite.
That's why the second one is like really. I think the cast is a lot more fun, like the vampires and the human team. I felt like there was more action in that one too. Like there was the whole nightclub scene in that one where they just go crazy and kill and they get in the fights. And then there's the whole sewers thing. And then there's the whole showdown in the third one.
The third one started off and they locked him up in a mental asylum.
Right.
Like the whole first third of the movie was, we got to go catch Blade, got to go catch him. And then, it's my jurisdiction. Oh, it's mine. And, I'm going to take him. And I'm really a vampire familiar. And
now you have to meet with the hot young new people. It's like,
yeah.
This idea, which corporate entity decided to get Jessica Biel and Ryan Reynolds in here for the young kids? Do you know what this movie is? Like, that's one of the reasons the first two were so great is because they very much had that kind of like 80s action vibe as well as like kind of the kung fu stuff that they go into, but definitely that like action 80s, like Terminator,
Predator,
Spawn, even Predator. Well, Predator for more reason than one, but yeah, like the fights and all that kind of stuff. Absolutely, just blowing stuff up, and the fact that in the second one they were like almost impossible to kill. That made the fights more interesting because in the first one, basically Blade just if he finds a van, he kills it. And that's why the guy's like, he's surrounded by 20 guys, and all of a sudden, and everyone's dead. Yeah, because he could take down vampires, no problem. So had to up the ante. And the Dracula idea, I mean, it could have been better done. It just wasn't.
It just wasn't.
Yeah. And there's some fun moments. Ryan Reynolds, even not all of his lines are the best.
No.
True.
Yeah. He's not top form.
But he was nice to look at.
Peak Deadpool, yeah. Oh, yeah, he's in fine physical shape. This is 2004 Ryan Reynolds. They literally put, that's something else I wanted to bring up. I was like, I knew Debbie was going to love Ryan Reynolds like this because he's shirtless half the time. One of the reasons is just to show off the tattoo, which they put right under like his waistline, so he has to like slightly pull down his pants to show it every time. I'm just like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Especially because later they show that those things are scanned to get into Vampires Go, and the scanner only fits like a wrist. And I'm like, how did he ever get in? Do they have like a hand scanner too? Like at the checkout lanes, like, oh, he wanted to be sexy, get out the hand scanner. But what an inconvenient place to get that if you're ever trying to go in it. And they apparently have a cure because he was a vampire at one point. They're like, we have a cure. I'm like, when? Oh, right, the blind lady. She made you up that cure. This is
this is what ticked me off, because I liked the doctor in the first movie, and I kept waiting for her to pop up somewhere, because
No, it's the same thing that they do with all the other superhero movies. Is we got to have a different love interest for every movie, and I can't figure it out. It's like, just bring back the same girls. You don't have to recast anybody. You've already got them.
yeah, I didn't get that. So I was just like, oh, is that where Ryan and them got the cure from? Or
apparently
because that's what she was working on, but they never even, unless I totally missed it, they never even mentioned it. So
they would have, at least if they would have thrown something in there about, oh, well, Dr. So-and, I can't remember her name, but if she was working on something and something happened to her and we picked up where she left off and now we have a cure.
Yeah, but there was nothing.
I also found it funny that they like had to introduce themselves to Blade. Like, they've been hunting vampires for a while. I never knew there was anyone else doing this. A whole organized group of cells fighting vampires, which, boy, that could be useful to you. Contacts, information, but he's more of the, I'm a lone wolf. I don't know. It just seemed funny that it's like, I'd never heard of all of you. Let's spend some time introducing each other.
We got the goth emo kids too. You got to get their names. Make sure you get. I'm Blood Rain. I'm Skyther. I'm.
And in this one, also
Philip. Your name
is Skater Punks.
Philip Johnson. My name is Slasher. No, it's not. Your name is Eugene. You play Dungeons and Dragons. Go back home.
Oh man, I thought that also at the end, this silver dust that they put into the ducks, I was like, that didn't kill him. It gave the one guy a flaming like cough. I was like, woof, man, woof. And the dogs that they did the thing to, I was like, this is... And then they just die, and I was like, they just did that for a laugh. I'm like, what if we had dogs that face opened up like Predator? Well, what happens to them? All right, well, you can just have them run off the edge of a building.
That was so stupid.
Cool.
Oh my gosh.
That's awesome. This movie's great. Hey, we're under budget.
This movie was written by a bunch of guys at a rave, and
let's
they were
do more
on something.
Superhero landings. I think Blade did like 3 in that movie.
Yeah.
And the third one is like, well, it's the third. And they didn't do a Shades moment, because in the second one, or in the first one, he like cuts the one guy's head off, that funny guy, and grabs his shades out of the air because that guy had taken them and like puts them on. And then in the second one, he has them thrown to him in an awesome moment. Like, that's right before the final showdown. Just like the last one was. Like, why would you not three-peat that? I don't remember that, unless I just missed it, but
I don't remember seeing it.
I don't remember a Shades moment. Because the humor went in a different direction, again, with this third one. It's different. That's what, like the first two, even though there's technical differences, money differences, obviously the second one was better funded. They saw the success of the first one that was more heavily invested in. So you got upgraded fights. Even just the cinematography was better. The special effects were better. Everything was amped up a little bit. And it was Guillermo del Toro, so he's no slouch. That, I think, really brought that film together. The third one was just, I think they were like, well, we can do, everyone likes a trilogy. We'll even call it Trinity, so that people have, 3.
They strayed from the Blade being a solo act, and they made Blade and Friends. And it strayed from the original formula, and I think that's probably why it was not such Not such
And
a
the
good
second one kind of did that, but they were vampires, so like they're enemies the whole time. There's this contention between them. They're constantly aiming guns at each other, like wondering when they're going to be betrayed. And that really works for the film. The third one is, again, kind of like what he says, like a bunch of dumb kids. And then, yeah, you got the blind lady watching the security cams and they get killed. So I don't know how you lasted this long. You dumbass. Also, she's developing the cure for vampirism. Why do you have her watching security cams anyway? Let alone the fact that she's blind. Like, that should obviously be the number one reason why she shouldn't be doing that. But also, she's better put to use elsewhere. It's just so ridiculous to me that I was watching the movie. I was like, did I switch over to a comedy? Like where's the laugh track right here? There's a blind person. Like, roof stuff, man. Ridiculous. Third one's tough.
Except for Ryan.
Debbie, let Debbie have Ryan.
Let me enjoy my moment.
Oh man. But yeah, no, that was Ryan Reynolds being used for his body.
No objections.
Nah. I love that. Want me to do it again? All right. So the reason we watched Blade is because Blade is going to be introduced to the MCU. Upcoming, I think, of the Multiverse of Madness is, I think, when we're going to be seeing him before he's, I assume, in his own solo work. But it's, again, that's what I want to talk about before we sign off today is what do you guys think this new iteration of Blade is going to be like? Are we going to have the same kind of...
Can't tell you. They'll kill me.
Kill you, motherfucker. I'll kill you. I'll just enjoy it better.
Like, do you think we're going to
lines.
get that kind of... Like, this is the guy.
Motherfucker, are you out of your damn mind?
Yeah, would definitely have to be R-rated.
Yeah, so, like, well, that's the thing. Is, like, Disney going to do that?
I'm wondering if you had said something about Multiverse of Madness. I'm wondering if we first see him because they did Venom, and Venom has now crossed over into the MCU thanks to multiverse stuff going on. Maybe we see him in Morbius. Maybe he's in like a post-credit scene in more. He makes his appearance post-credits in Morbius.
But isn't that more part of the Sonyverse? Like, I don't know if
it is part of the
Sonyverse.
But what I'm saying is, if they're trying to cross the Sonyverse into the,
I don't know if they're doing
MCU,
that on a big scale though. I don't know.
If they are, why not? Why not?
Just because things get convoluted with money, and both Sony and Disney want to keep it all for themselves, essentially. So that's why it's been hard enough just to have the Spider-Man deal work out. But they did say, I think the CEO, I don't know, somebody at Sony said things are going to be clearer after Venom, and he said this before Venom, and after Spider-Man No Way Home. So I think after Spider-Man, we'll have more of an answer on that front. Yeah. But it could be, yeah. I mean, he's a vampire hunter. Like,
Morbius is a vampire.
Good place to show up, yeah. So I don't know. And I don't know, the actor they got, I forget his name. He was in the movie The Green Book. He was in Luke Cage. Yeah, his last name's Ali.
Ali something, yeah.
And he's I've enjoyed him in pretty much everything I've seen him in. It's going to be hard to live up to Wesley Snipes, but...
as much as I didn't enjoy these movies, I thought the casting was, except for the third movie, but as far as Wesley Snipes goes, that was like perfect. The casting for all of the movies was really, really good. The actors brought a lot, except for, there was a few in that third movie that I was just like, oh my.
Jessica Biel fighting a bunch of helmeted SWAT dudes.
Yeah.
I just wasn't buying it. I'm like, you're okay. Blade is a hybrid vampire. So I believe that he can have like super strength and punch a SWAT helmet and break it and not care about his fit. You are just human. A girl. You are a human. You can't just punch a SWAT helmet in the face, and that's the reason they wear those. Is so that a regular person can't just punch them in the face. And then to take on like 12 of them, doing your high kicks, which looks great in those pants, but come on.
Widow, she's not.
But I'm a fan. I like Jessica Biel, but it's not the like Underworld is a much better example of and Resident Evil of a heroine kicking ass. So sorry, Jessica Biel.
Those movies.
I'm sorry. Alien
is another. I was just thinking of like zombie, but yeah, Alien, absolutely.
There's your warrior princess right there. Give me some good old Sigourney Weaver.
What was she in?
Galaxy Quest? That was an amazing movie.
Well, she was in that. I was thinking she was older. Oh, she was in Daredevil in the
Sigourney
not
Weaver?
Daredevil. Well, she was in when they all came together, the Defenders or whatever. She was the bad. Yeah, she was in that.
There you go.
She fought some people, and I was like, oh my goodness, yes. She's
in the series?
She's one of the Hand. Okay, when they did the Defenders.
Yeah.
When they brought Luke Cage, and so she's in that.
Yeah.
She's the bad guy in that for most of it.
It's been so long since I've seen that. I'll have to do a rewatch, but
well, just don't bother rewatching Iron Fist, because that show.
I like the storyline. I just didn't like the guy who was playing Iron Fist.
It was what a mess. I don't even know if I think. Was there 2 seasons to that show? I definitely don't. If there was 2 seasons, I only watched
Iron Fist. Yes,
I think there was at least 2.
I watched them. Yeah.
I did not bother with the second season of that.
I really enjoyed the Daredevil and
might be seeing some Daredevil soon.
Luke Cage and Jessica
Jones. I like that one.
I really like those. They just dropped the ball on Iron Fist, I thought. So
it was rough, yeah. Well, we'll see what they do. I think they're bringing back Iron Fist at some point, but they're making him actually of Asian descent now, which
makes more sense.
I mean, yeah, but the story of like the background of what happened to him is like, oh, he was a rich kid on a plane that crashed in this mystical city. It's like, oh, okay. But now with everyone being like, what? You can't have someone be a martial artist and be white. It's like, wait, why? First of all, but also like we have to be diverse. I was like, okay, all right. I'm fine with. There's a bunch of like whites. I don't care. Do whatever you're gonna do. But I think there can be. I think it's possible. You don't want it. I understand. But yeah,
that's the same thing. That's the same thing that happened with The Last Samurai. Now, I'm not a Tom Cruise fan, but everybody was like, oh, you can't make a samurai a white guy, and it's like samurai's not a race. It's a creed. It's a way of life. And that if you watch the movie, you know that he's an American officer that came there and he went through all the training and he earned the title of samurai.
The thing is,
that's not racist.
People don't watch the movie before making their snap judgments. That's why they're snap judgments. Hey, that's a white guy. No. The same thing happened with that Great Wall movie.
Oh, I know, right? With Matt Damon. And they're like, oh my gosh, it's a white guy and he's building the Great Wall. It's like, did you watch the movie?
And they were lizards. Oh, they explain completely why. Like, he's literally a traveler. They explain that's part of the plot is why he doesn't look like everybody else, and that's kind of explained. But that's people just saw that and they were like, what? Why are you putting him in the leading role? That should have gone to a blah, blah, blah person. Like, it couldn't have, because then it wouldn't make sense in the story that we're making. Also, the whole reason that we're getting this famous white actor to play this part is because we're trying to get more money from both America and China. We're trying to get as much money from both of those places as possible. And so it's just a ridiculous situation that so happens all the time.
Anyway.
But I would be interested in seeing another Spawn movie at some point. Whatever happened to that?
I thought they were rebooting that one.
I wouldn't be surprised. That's definitely one.
I haven't seen that either.
I thought I saw something on that one. Hang on.
Oh. James Woods in Vampires, just another New Mexico shithole.
So
the third one, so the third Blade movie lacked a lot of the imagination and verve of the previous two. Yes, and Jessica Biel. For the men, Jessica Biel was the best part. For the ladies, Ryan Reynolds. That's, or whatever you're into, you get it.
Okay,
I'm about to get canceled. What'd you say?
As it stands, there is a Spawn movie in development. I can't look at it right now because I don't have my IMDb Pro, but it looks like it's got Jamie Foxx and what was Jeremy Renner and Jamie Foxx.
Huh. I guess Jamie Foxx is Spawn.
I can't answer that. I can't look at anything.
So.
That's
Is
just
that a vampire movie or is that something else?
no. That's
he's like a hell creature.
A general of hell.
Gotcha.
Go watch the first. Well, the only Spawn movie. You watch the original Spawn movie, and the story is right. Maybe not the action and the costume and the acting, but at least they got the story right.
Okay.
It's some interesting stuff. When they film, I remember there were some parts that I was like, the special effects are not as good as they need to be. But man, if they had been, this would be totally awesome. Because I'm watching some of these things, I'm like,
what year was that?
That's cool.
97, I think.
So actually, that was a year before the first Blade movie.
And that one also has some 97.
It's literally called Spawn. That's what he is.
Yeah, he's Spawn.
a Hellspawn.
Okay.
But it's got John Leguizamo and Michael Jai White, and
oh yeah,
I mean that's another one of those ones where you can watch it and you go, oh, some of these special effects are very dated.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it would look good on a PlayStation 2 game.
Well, did it look good back then, though?
Well,
I mean, think about Blade and think about when they used the special effects in that. So it looked kind of like along those lines. But think of it happening more often. Blade didn't do all of that. Didn't use all that much. You know what I mean? It was just
Spawn
when they got
used
to
a lot.
Spawn did a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But now, in whatever year this is, the audience wants action and seats with beverage holders, but mainly action.
Got that
That's
right.
right.
So anyway, I think that just about does it for today. We talked all about Blade. We looked at the new Disney Plus previews that are coming along, and we'll see. They're not too much shown on those yet. We will see what happens with those, and we'll always be talking about it every Monday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. And next week we're going to be talking about the first Hawkeye episode. That
First
is coming
two.
out. Or first two? Okay,
First two.
sweet. I kind of play it by, you know me. What's happening? Okay.
That's why you have me.
Cavalier.
And Debbie doesn't even have to go to the theater to watch this one. She can watch it at home.
I'm so excited. Although I am excited to go see Spider-Man, so.
Spider-Man. Oh, it's all good. I can't wait for Spider-Man. I can't wait for Multiverse of Madness. Too bad it got delayed. But anyway, next week we're talking about Hawkeye. That'll be a lot of fun, especially after how much crap I like to give Hawkeye.
With this collar on, my superpower is just unbridled cancer. Give me a bow and arrow, I'm basically Hawkeye.
Somebody likes my kitty. That's Chewie, Chewbacca.
Yep, constantly running in front of the screen, knocking over microphones, making things echo. Valuable member of the team.
Yeah, she makes an appearance every show.
Because, what are you on?
Either
a live
causing trouble or sitting on my lap.
Attention.
Her 5 minutes of fame.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Power dampening collar. Shuts down all mutant abilities. Can't get it off unless you've got a grenade.
Huh. Could have used one of those in the first act. They keep a monster in the basement. Right next to a huge steaming bowl of foreshadowing.
This guy, Cable.